where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini-golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini-golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here in this one. Kev coming in, already showing the love with the like on the stream. How are you, Mr. Odelsky? Says, Dad, son, yes, I am here. How are you, brother? How are you, Kev coming in, showing the love here in this one? How are you, my dude? Coming in, smashing the thumbs up here in the broadcast as we get ready to rock and roll. Zebra coming in, showing the love as well over there on Twitch. Coming in, showing the big love as well. Zebra coming in with the resub over on Twitch as well. Coming in with the 7 months of being a subscriber here on Peacemaker Gaming. Absolutely insane, brother. Coming in with the hydrate and the stretch as well. Oh, God. Hydrated. Let's get a little stretch in. Oh, man, that feels, that feels good. Oh, yeah, we're loosened up. We're ready to rock and roll now in this one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get ready for another great show. A lot of great racing action here from the beautiful Homestead, Miami Speedway as these drivers get ready to duke it out, get ready to battle here at one of the most beautiful racetracks and one of the most beautiful areas. It is Miami here this afternoon. The sunshine state, and the sun is out a little overcast, but it's hot, it's slick, it's going to be fast, and it's going to be some great racing here in this one. And Scary Strokes, I wonder how many adults go there thinking it's something else. Ooh, yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know. That's a good call right there. I don't know how many adults are going there. I don't know. I'm all for Strokes, but not Scary Strokes. I like the safe, good, get the job done strokes, not the scary ones. I don't want to go there and be scared getting my strokes. I'm just kidding. But we're going to get ready to rock and roll here in this one. Not a huge field of drivers, but nonetheless, it's quality over quantity here this afternoon as drivers going to jump out onto the racetrack. They're getting their qualifying session in. They're getting ready to rock and roll. Each and every one of them looking for the win here this afternoon as the fun is just about to get started. The action is just about to get packed here this evening as the racing, man, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be another good show. We're going to see some great battles out there on the Speedway, a lot of back and forth, a lot of great battles, and a lot of different strategies that could be played here. With not a huge field, probably not going to have a lot of caution flags. Without a lot of caution flags, really opens up the door for drivers to try to, hit their marks, make some moves, and try to win this race down on pit road. So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be able to put themselves into victory lane, who's going to be one of those drivers that's going to work themselves into our Championship 4 here in the inaugural season of the beautiful Slingshot Sim Racing Series, as that's going to be the big question for a lot of these drivers, a lot of these competitors that are, still in the fight here for the championship, on what they need to do or how they need to maneuver around the speedway to try to lock themselves in. Now, with only 9 drivers showing up, that's a potential for, a lot of drivers to maybe potentially lock themselves in to that Championship 4 battle, when we see a lot of drivers that aren't here, that are part of the Championship 8 not being in attendance. It really opens up that door here for these drivers to make some moves, to put themselves into that position, to maybe put themselves into the winner's circle here this evening and potentially lock themselves into the playoffs. And starting on the pole, I do believe in this SimMotion.com number 13 ride. We'll have to wait and see how they line up, as actually I do believe it's the 75 William McKellar in the Fallout New Vegas number 75 ride. The Voltec machine will start here in the pole position to his outside, making his return to the series here. Lower car count, jumping up into the race instead of being the admin in the booth, is the other SimMotion number 44. That is John Ross. Starting in position at number 3 in the 13, the SimMotion ride, that is Christian Delgado. To his outside in the New Jersey Devils number 93 ride, that is Zach Lockett. Then we see there in 5th, the Liberty University ride of Christopher DeWald. To his outside, the 48 ride, that's John McNeil. Then we see Leroy Koblenz, Victor Pfluger, and the number 46 ride. There you go. We can finally read that SimMotion ride, as Ronald Luzzi bringing up the rear of the field. So we have 9 drivers in attendance here this afternoon. 110 laps of racing action. They're going to be clicking these laps up in a quick hurry, but out in front quickly, trying to slide up in front of the 44 ride of John Ross is William McKellar. McKellar looking for the early race lead, but John Ross quickly putting himself down low here, trying to use that inside lane, looking to take this early race lead away from the 75. Door to door, down across the line, and it is William McKellar leading lap number 1 here in this one. So McKellar leading the first lap, but John Ross still working down low to his inside, as Ross there in that second spot looking for the race lead. You do see the red banners here. So William McKellar, Christian Delgado, Zach Lockett, 3 of our drivers looking to work themselves into the Championship 4 here this afternoon. I'm not sure if Christopher DeWald is or isn't in the playoffs still, but he's one of those drivers that's definitely going to be looking for a good run here. We do know John McNeil, one of those drivers as well, that's currently in the playoffs. So we have at least 4 drivers, potentially 5 there, with Christopher DeWald being in the playoffs as well. And, 4 or 5 drivers looking to try to pick up some big points, some big momentum here, and see if they can lock their way into that final round of our NASCAR playoffs here this evening. There's some great racing out there on the speedway. Drivers trying to work themselves closer to the front of the field. This is where the issues can really come up here. Drivers really needing to make some moves, and Christopher DeWald is one of those drivers also in our championship fight here as well. Sean Jensick has actually already won a race. He won there at Las Vegas. He has worked himself into our championship 4 here after not this race but the next race. So that's going to be very, very interesting here with drivers, having some issues, some drivers not showing up, but we do see Zach Lockett, Chris DeWald, and John McNeil out there on the racetrack. Now those are 3 drivers that are on the outside of that cutoff line looking in here. So Grego Berry not being here in attendance, this could really drop him down and out of the playoffs here this afternoon. So he does have a 28-point gap between himself and that cutoff line, but how much more does he need? How many points can these drivers get out there on the racetrack when you look at, Zach Lockett, who's currently 16 points below the cutoff line, or Chris DeWalt, who's 19 points, Sean McNeil 23 points below that cutoff line, and not having Grego Berry here in attendance, but Christian Delgado and McKellar both out there as well, battling here as they're actually up at the front of the field, looking to hopefully get some extra stage points, able to work themselves into the championship 4 round here this afternoon. McKellar there in second, Christian Delgado down low, trying to take that second spot away from him, and here comes Christopher DeWald. DeWald, one of those drivers trying to work their way into that championship 4 here this afternoon, looking to try to gain some points and close that gap and see if he can try to put himself within striking distance, whether or not today with a big win or a big race to work himself above the cut line, or maybe potentially picking up that win and just completely jumping and leapfrogging a lot of these other playoff drivers here this evening. See Victor Pfluger out there on the racetrack. Pfluger's been off to a hot start here in that 80 ride as the beautiful number 80 machine sport, and a new looking paint scheme again here this evening. Always fresh, always looking very, very fast out there on the Speedway, and Pfluger inside the top 5, going to get a great run here to the outside of the 82 of Christopher DeWald. DeWald going to slide back now into that 5th position, but going to continue to look down low as they roll up onto the sim motion number 13 right of Christian Delgado. And then we see Zach Lockett right there behind him. Lockett, another one of those drivers that's on the outside of that cutoff line looking in. Same with John McNeil, looking to have these big runs, these big races here this afternoon, and potentially an opportunity for them to race and try to put themselves into that championship 4 here this afternoon. So we'll have to keep an eye on those championship points throughout the evening as Leroy Koblenz back here in 8th and Ronald Luzzi back here in position number 9. As out in front, it's John Ross. Ross continuing to lead the way here in that Sim Motion Majors Garage number 44 ride. As John Ross leads the way here this afternoon. Willie McKellar there in position number 2. Christian Delgado there in that 3rd spot on the Speedway as Victor Pfluger trying to hunt him down. Continuing to get these great runs out at quarter number 4. Runs right to the back bumper of that 13 ride that has to try to, check up, figure out a way to get around this 13 as everyone's trying to migrate up towards this outside fence, trying to use that outside wall and trying to carry all this big momentum around the Speedway. And you see the 93 ride of Zach Lockett trying to use that inside lane. You gotta kind of run where they're not out there on the racetrack to be able to find these big runs, to be able to find the opportunities to try to make some moves and work yourself towards the front of the field. You kind of need to put yourself into a different area on the racetrack. You can't just be follow the leader. As out in front is follow the leader for Willie McKellar. As McKellar right on the back bumper now of John Ross as Ross continues to lead the way. The 75 of McKellar right there trying to close that gap, trying to get right back to his rear bumper here. A big run, though, down into corner number 3 for that 44 ride as you do see McKellar getting wound up on the outside lane, looking for a big run out at corner number 4, seeing if he can close that gap once again to the back end of our race leader here on the Speedway. Christian Delgado there in 3rd with Victor Pfluger back in position number 4 and looking for more. Zach Lockett there in the 5th position with John McNeil rounding out our top 6. Then we see DeWald back in the 7th spot. Leroy Koblenz, Ronald Luzzi bringing up the rear of the field, but this is where things could get very interesting with not a lot of drivers out there on the racetrack. It really opens up this Speedway, gives you a lot of room, a lot of opportunities to make these runs and make these drives towards the front or battling with somebody and not having to worry about going 3 wide or really running into the drivers that are around you. So you have a little bit more room to play, which makes it that much better because you can kind of, have some issues and not get run over, but at the same point in time, probably not going to be a lot of caution flags. If you run into too many issues, have to make unscheduled pit stops or anything else, that could put you, a lap down in a quick hurry. And without any caution flags on the evening as a possibility, you may not ever get that lap back. You may not be in a position for the lucky dog here on the evening. So each and every one of these drivers are going to be trying to do their best to keep themselves out of trouble, keep themselves up here towards the front of the field. We're going to see a bunch of different strategies when it comes to green flag pit stops, where I'm assuming we're probably going to see these drivers try to stretch it out to around that, they're going to try to stretch it out to around that, 55 lap area. I know they want to try to make this all one pit stop so they can make it to lap 55, maybe 56, 57, maybe even lap 60, where they can feel a little bit more comfortable fuel-wise here towards the end of the race. If we do see that late race caution flag, that they will have enough left in the tank for a little bit of NASCAR overtime. As my boy Victor Ferguson, Victor coming in, show the big love, says, hey, want to know a cool hockey card I have? Yes, sir. I always want to know a cool hockey card that you got, brother. As my boy Curtis and Sarah Terrific, Kurt coming in, setting it off with a 100-star bomb. What's good, Kurt? What's good, Mr. KT Services coming in, showing the big love here in this one, dropping the 100-star dono here this afternoon. I appreciate that, brother, coming in, showing the love here in this one. Is Victor Ferguson with the like on the stream. Thomas Dennis, my boy Thomas, how are you, brother? Coming in, showing the love as well with the like on the stream. Says, hello, Aaron. Hello, Thomas. How are you, Mr. Dennis? How you doing this evening? Curtis and Sarah Turf coming in. Mr. KT Services himself coming in with that like on the stream as well. I appreciate that, Kurt, coming in, showing the big love here in this one. Is Thomas Dennis. Thomas coming in, setting it off as well with the 150-star dono coming in, showing the big love here in this one. The 150-star dono, the big D of the broadcast now. Kurt had the big D of the broadcast, but Thomas Dennis coming up, jumping in and taking that big D away from Kurt here this afternoon. And what is this? You guys activated a star party. Let's go, chat. Star party up in the house. Star party getting activated. Kurt and Thomas activating a star party here this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give me that star party here before the timer runs out, as the star party has been activated. Victor Ferguson says, so I have an Eric Lindros hockey card. It is the first round draft selection card. Jeez, that's a pretty dope card, brother. First round draft selection of an Eric Lindros card, man. That's a Hall of Famer. That Lindros, man, without the concussions, I say Lindros without the concussions, if he never got a single concussion in his career, he would probably be the #1 hockey player in the world. Probably better than Gretzky and everything else. You look at the points that he got, before he ended up with a couple of those major concussions from Scott Stevens, and, he was on pace, man. He probably would be the #1 hockey player in the world. As you guys setting it off, man. The star party getting activated here this afternoon. Huge shout out to Curtis and Sarah Turf and Thomas Dennis coming in, showing the big love here in this one with the donos. As Victor says, I looked up the price in the card. It goes for between $200 and $500. Yeah, that's a pretty good price, man. That's a pretty good price for a hockey card. Just you gotta hope that it's in pretty good condition. It's been sleeved, and then sometimes it costs anywhere between like $30 to like $100 to get it graded from Beckett or PSA or anything else. So it's still a cool card, still a very cool card, and if you can get a good PSA rating or something on it, could be worth even more. And especially if you hold on to it for another 10, 15, 20 years, who knows what that could be worth after Eric Lindros potentially pass away. I mean, that could be 40 years or 50 years. Hopefully it is, as, man, boy, Victor coming in with the big love as well with the like on the stream here. As out in front, we see this great battle here on the racetrack as Willie McKellar and John Ross battling door to door here for the race lead. McKellar up on the high side in the Volt Tech. Robco, Fallout New Vegas number 75 ride, rolling that outside lane. John Ross down low, working the inside groove there, door to door, and it looks like McKellar is going to be able to edge out in front and take this race lead back away from John Ross. But Ross not giving up and not backing down as, oh baby, the 75 gets a lot loose right there in quarter number 2. Unfortunately, as he got loose, he made a little contact there with that 44, lost a ton of momentum, and now slides all the way back into about the 4th position as Pfluger rolls around the outside of him here. We also saw another driver down the back straightaway here. Looked like they ran into issues out of corner number 4 or corner number 2 here as well. I'm not sure who that may have been. It may have been this 82 ride. Saw somebody shoot down the racetrack here. You get a great look out. Maybe I'm just seeing things here. Maybe I'm seeing things. I thought I saw somebody shoot way down the racetrack, but maybe I'm just Maybe I'm just seeing things right there after the little bit of contact in the slide out of that 75 ride. A tough break for McKellar is battling and having that race lead. Now all of a sudden he's back in position number 4. Now he's going to try to find his way back up towards the front of the field. He's going to try to find that groove that he was in before. He's got to kind of relearn his marks and see if he can try to get this 75 ride back up there, as we do see the VPR number 80 ride of Victor Pfluger get up into the outside fence there ever so slightly in 1 and 2. Getting up and scrubbing that outside wall, going to scrub off quite a bit of speed, as we do see the caution flag fly as McNeil going to run into some issues here. So our first caution flag on the day is going to fly as John McNeil going to run into some issues here. McNeil rolling down out of corner number 2, gets loose again after hitting the apron, and that car goes for a loop-de-loop, noses the outside fence ever so slightly. Luckily enough, everyone else able to avoid him here. No one else gets a piece of him there, so everyone able to keep themselves clean and green out there on the speedway. But unfortunately, with him being stopped right there in the middle of the racetrack, the caution flag will fly. So our first caution flag here of the afternoon. Now that may open up the door here for some drivers to try to use this little bit of strategy here. You know, what do? Do you stay out or do you come down pit side? I think you gotta come down pit road. The tires have already fallen off quite a bit here for these drivers. They've already kind of tapered off a second and a half, a second, 2 seconds now. So these drivers are already feeling the pain of these tires kind of falling away here, and that may force their hand. You do see them all head down pit side. They're gonna get ready here for some pit stops and see who can come out with this race lead. John Ross will lead us into pit road. His SimMotion.com teammate of Christian Delgado back there behind him. So Delgado and Ross both pull down into their pit stalls. There's McKellar into his. Now who can be that first car off of pit lane, as everyone's going to get jacked up. They're going to get some tires, they're going to get some fuel, and they're going to get some adjustments here to make sure that their cars are absolutely perfect and ready to go. And it looks like it's a drag race, and Christian Delgado is going to come out with that race lead. So Delgado with the race lead, John Ross there in second, McKellar coming home and coming out in third with Victor Pfluger, Zach Lockett, Christopher DeWald, John McNeil, Ronald Luzzi, and Leroy Koblenz bringing up the rear of the field here in this one, as we'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a few more moments. These drivers will get ready to duke it out again here on the afternoon. They'll get ready to go to battle here again for the second time here this evening, as we'll get a quick word in from our sponsors over at Scary Strokes.
Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini-golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini-golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena.
Alrighty, as we get them stacked up, door to door, ready to go back to battle here in this one. Drivers stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing here from Homestead, Miami Speedway, as lap number 28 will go up onto the board here. Drivers quickly clicking down these laps in a quick careers. Christian Delgado back to the green flag, and he will quickly try to open up that lead between himself and John Ross and Willie McKellar. McKellar trying to make some early moves here, working down low on that 44, looking to try to get back to the front of the field after battling door to door with that 44, almost going around himself, and luckily enough able to catch it, but did slide back, lost quite a bit of track position, but here he is battling right back up into that second spot, and now trying to chase down this 13 ride for the race lead. And Zach Lockett back there behind him, the New Jersey Devils NHL hockey team, the number 93 ride. The locked-in Lockett machine there in position number 5. The 82 of Christopher DeWalt back there in the 5th position. Ronald Luzzi there in position number 6 with John McNeil, the driver who unfortunately went around and brought out that first caution flag there in that 7th position, but looking to take 6 away from that 46 machine. But a big run down the front straightaway there for Ronald Luzzi will keep him in that 6th position, but a dive bomb down low for the 48. He's going to wash up the racetrack now in front of the 46. A little bit of a slide job right there, and he'll jump into that 6th position as Victor Pfluger back here in position number 8, continue the battle, continue to try to make some moves here as Leroy Koblenz back there behind him, and we do see Willie McKellar. I'm not sure what just happened to McKellar, but McKellar goes from battling up towards the front of the field. Looks like he gets super loose out of corner number 2. Again, battling to the outside for the race lead. Gets loose not once, but twice after catching that car. The car just shoots down the racetrack. Pretty good contact there with that inside fence. A little bit of left front and left rear damage here for that full tank. All out New Vegas number 75 ride. He'll get that car rolling again, but all of a sudden now finds himself at the back of the pack. So going from the penthouse basically to the outhouse here in this one for the 75 rider. Willie McKellar really struggling getting out of corner number 2 there on the Speedway. This is the second time we saw him run into issues. Then Christian Delgado out in front, continuing to lead the way. Delgado at the front of the pack is 44 teammate here, the sim motion ride of John Ross there in second. We saw Ross actually get into the outside fence there, only scrubbed a little bit, doesn't look like any damage or anything major there for that 44 ride after trying to make sure he stayed out of the way, gave enough room for McKellar as he was trying to catch that ride, and he was sliding around there at a corner number 2, and that kind of got Ross just up and into that outside fence ever so slightly. Now we do see the 93 ride of Zach Lockett into that 3rd position. Christopher DeWalt in position number 4. McNeil up inside the top 5. Now on the racetrack is Victor Pfluger there in 6th. Leroy Koblenz back in 7th. Luzzi and McKellar rounding out our top 9 here on the Speedway. As it's all Christian Delgado here at the front of the field. We'll jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming. Crank it up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Crank up that volume. Cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. around the beautiful Miami Homestead Speedway here this afternoon. As out in front, it is the Sim Motion number 44 ride of John Ross. Ross out in front here, T-Way. They'll lead the way here in this one. Ross out in front should be fighting to get it done this afternoon. As right there behind them in that 13th ride, all those drivers battling for the championship here on the season, looking to try to finish off this 36 race season on the high note, knowing that there's a couple of races left after tonight. One of the opportunities here, a golden opportunity for that number 13 to potentially work himself into the championship for here this afternoon, whether or not it's potentially locking himself in on points or working himself into the show with potentially a big win here this afternoon. But there's a lot of other drivers out there on the racetrack that are also looking for the wins here this evening. One of those being the 48 rider, John McNeil. McNeil in the Boeing. McNeilmedia.org, number 48 right there in the 4th position. He's also looking to try to work himself into that next round of the playoffs. So isn't Zach Lockett as the locked-in number 93, the New Jersey Devils ride back there in the 5th position. McKellar, Willie McKellar there in the Fallout New Vegas 75 ride. He's another one of those cats looking to try to lock himself in to that championship 4, and so isn't Christopher DeWall. DeWall heavy left front damage here for this number 82 ride. I'm not sure where this damage may have came from, but looks like he's found the inside fence pretty heavily here. Maybe out of corner number 2. Does he have the damage here? He's already got the damage, so I think it's out of corner number 4, the lap beforehand. Yeah, definitely looks like he gets loose down on the bottom side and worked himself around Victor Pfluger up inside the top 3. Unfortunately, down on the apron, then hard contact down onto the inside fence there on the pit wall. And unfortunately, that heavy contact, that heavy damage is going to take him down pit side here for potentially an extended period of time as the crew is going to go to work and try to get this 82 ride back out there onto the racetrack. We did see Ronald Luzzi also come down pit side here on lap 37, so it's like a little bit early here for Ronald and for the number 82 rider to really have to make those pit stops. Obviously, the 82 with the damage having to come down pit side here, and obviously this car getting some extensive work done to it. This could put him way behind here this afternoon and could potentially take him out of an opportunity to try to pick up a big point stay in his opportunity to try to run for this championship. Maybe slowly but surely becoming bleaker and bleaker, knowing that next week may be his last shot at working himself into that championship 4. Going to need a big win at Martinsville to try to put himself into that position, as we do see he's still down pit side. Ronald Luzzi, who was down pit side for quite a few laps as well, he is still rolling out there on the speedway as the Sim Motion ride rolls there in the 9th position. Now we do see William McKellar make his way down pit side. So McKellar in the Voltec Robco number 75 machine. He works his way down pit side as John Ross continues to lead the way. Christian Delgado there in second with Victor Pfluger in that 3rd position. John McNeil, Leroy Koblenz, and Zach Lockett rounding out our top 6 here on the Speedway is my dude guy, Brian coming in, showing the love with the like on the stream. How are you, dude guy coming in, showing the love here in this one. Joshua Neal coming in with that thumbs up on the broadcast as well. How are you, Josh coming in, showing the love, dude guy. Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Wednesday, brother. Hopefully you're having yourself a great hump day, and if you're doing a little Call of Duty later on or something, brother, I might be down to hop in and get another little late night stream on, a little late night session in, and play a little bit more Call of Duty here to finish off the evening. As in front, John Ross continuing to lead the way here. Ross not feeling a whole lot of pressure, has about 0.6 of a second between himself and his teammate Christian Delgado. Delgado there in second, but they got about a 4-second gap between themselves and our 3rd place driver, Victor Pfluger. Pfluger back here in position number 3, about 4.4 seconds back of our race leader, 4 seconds back of Christian Delgado for that 2nd spot on the Speedway. So a pretty good sized gap now between our top 2 and the rest of the field is John McNeil there in position number 4, Zach Lockett there in 5th, and then we see Leroy Koblenz working down his inside, another one of those Sim Motion rides, and now down a lap. Currently in that free pass position is the 75 ride of William McKellar. McKellar in that free pass spot here on the Speedway with Christopher DeWald. Unfortunately taking his car down behind pit wall, and Ronald Lousy, unfortunately, quite a few laps down. He's still yet to pass his 82 ride on the racetrack. So that's showing you how many laps down that the number 46 ride is in. Now with the 82 behind pit wall. And out of this race, gonna shorten up this field even more, which makes it even tougher for us up here in the broadcast booth now with only 8 drivers duking it out here on the evening. 5 or 6 of our championship drivers out there, but now one less championship driver with Christopher DeWald off the racetrack. So it's down to Billy McKellar, Zach Lockett, John McNeil, and Christian Delgado. So 4 of our championship contenders here this afternoon battling for the final 3 spots available here for our championship, as the number 19 ride of Sean Jensick, who came out to play last week, was able to pick up that win, and he automatically punched his ticket straight on through into our championship 4 rounds. So Sean Jensick obviously not here tonight, but he doesn't have to stress. He doesn't need the points or to work his way in on points. He's got that win. He's locked in. He's getting prepped and ready for the big race to finish off this series, our championship event at Phoenix International Speedway, Phoenix Raceway here later on. Middle of next month. Honestly, we're only a couple weeks away, only a couple more races left to go. Next week we have Martinsville, where 2 more drivers will lock themselves into our championship, potentially 3 drivers really locking themselves into the championship if one of them doesn't win here tonight. So if one of our championship 8 does not win here this evening, come Martinsville, one of them could work their way into victory lane and put themselves into that position to pick up that championship in Phoenix in 2 weeks' time. So things are coming to a close in a quick hurry here for the Slingshot Sim Racing Series, but with things coming to a close, it's going to make things that much more interesting on whether or not drivers are going to be able to find that groove, find that gap to be able to put themselves into the contention here this evening for our championship, as we do see a few more drivers head down pit side, one of those being Zach Lockett. Lockett down on pit road. We also see the number 48 ride of John McNeil also down pit side here now. I don't see Lockett even on the racetrack now, so the locked-in Lockett 93 ride may not be out there anymore as well. So this is another interesting call here. I'm not sure what happened to Zach Lockett. We'll see if the wall will run into any issues. Lockett, unfortunately, finds himself down pit behind pit wall here. So a tough break there for the locked-in Lockett ride. A tough break for Christopher DeWald. Drivers off of the Speedway as Ronald Lousy continues to lead the sitting there in the 8th position. John Ross continues to lead the way. Christian Delgado there in 2nd. Victor Pfluger back about 6.5 seconds here in that 3rd spot on the Speedway. Leroy Koblenz there in position number 4 and looking for more. Willie McKellar, one of those first drivers down pit side here late in this race, making that pit strategy, that pit call to come down a little earlier here. See if he can use that to his advantage. And then we see John McNeil running into some issues again. McNeil was already down pit side here himself, came down pit road on lap number 57, and again looks like he's going to get loose out of corner number 2. This has been the trouble area for a few of these drivers. We saw McNeil go around here already. We saw McKellar run into a couple of there as the 48 goes for a quick little loop-de-loop. He's going to get that car fired up and keep on rolling here and get that car storming back out there on the racetrack. So good to see rolling, no caution flag on the Speedway. We keep it clean and green as we see Victor Pfluger now make his way down pit road. So Pfluger now down pit side here as well. So this could make a big area right here. This could be that strategy call that some of these drivers were trying to use. As you do see Willie McKellar, who was one of those drivers that first came down pit road on the So the 3 that are out in front and still on the lead lap, Ross, Christian Delgado, and Leroy Koblenz. They're running 1, 2, and 3. All of our sim motion lines there at the front of the field. Ronald Lindsay unfortunately running into issues earlier on. He finds himself down multiple laps here in that 8th position, but with Zach Lockett and Christopher DeWald off the Speedway, maybe another opportunity for the 46 to advance another position on the racetrack. Now we do see that the number 48 ride running into those issues, but keeping it clean. Fluger, who came down pit road, made that pit stop. Now trying to work himself around Leroy Koblenz and trying to hang with this number 75 of Willie McKellar, trying to use this early pit strategy. The quicker tires, the quicker lap time series, gain about half a second or better every single lap on our race leaders. So with that being said, he's gained all this time. He's being able to gain this track position as they go down pit side. He may be able to leapfrog them and put himself in front of them with what could be the best tires here on the evening, as McKellar's going to have to try to make it 60 laps here before coming back down pit road. We see the number 48 here. He came down pit road on lap 7, lap 60 for Victor Fluger. So these drivers of John Ross and Christian Delgado, they're probably thinking if they can make it to around lap 70, lap 75 area and kind of split this race into 3 different pit stops, that they can make it to the end and have really good tires here for late in this race. So we'll have to wait and see how this kind of plays out for them, how this works out, how this kind of helps them put themselves into a winning position. And right now, John Ross with that 2.5-second lead between himself and Christian Delgado, sitting pretty out here on the Speedway. Delgado back there in that spot with Leroy Koblenz back here in that 3rd position. Leroy's about almost 14 seconds back of our race leader right now. So Leroy, unfortunately, back a little bit more off the pace than our drivers there on the field. We'll have to wait and see how this all plays out, how this focuses out here after everyone comes down pit road. Once we see John Ross, Christian Delgado, Leroy Koblenz make their green flag pit stops, where they make them out in comparison to those drivers that came down pit road quite a bit earlier. Will McKellar have a big lead where John Ross and Christian Delgado may not have enough time to hunt him down to be able to make those passes and be able to put themselves in the circle here this evening? It's all going to be part of the strategy here this afternoon, and Fluger right there with them, trying to use kind of that same pit strategy, but coming down pit road 10 laps after McKellar did. So he's got quite a bit better tires than the 75 ride. He could be sitting in that catbird seat out there on the Speedway as John Ross continuing to lead the way. John Ross out in front, but the caution flag on the racetrack is John McNeil going to run into issues again here. The 48 ride. John McNeil at a quarter number 2, just going to get loose again. He's trying to save it. Unfortunately, a little overcorrection. He does get up into the outside fence there, not once but twice, as he tries to pin it to the wall, hoping that none of these other drivers come in there and get a piece of him. Let's take another look at it. It's really loose. Tries to save it, tries to correct it. Unfortunately, a little overcorrection and noses it up into that outside fence there, and a little bit of right front damage, a little bit of contact there, and obviously burning up some tires. But now with this kind of contact here and the caution flag coming out, this could really trap a few of these drivers behind the 8 ball on the Speedways. We're not going to be able to see that strategy. We're not going to be able to see these drivers that were trying to use that short pit their advantage here. We're not going to be able to really see how that plays out because they're trapped a lap down right now. And as they sit on the racetrack, the number 75 of Willie McKellar is in that free pass position, so he should get the lucky dog back onto the lead lap. He can probably come down pit side, put some fresh tires and everything onto this number 75 ride. Also, he'll come down pit road next time around because there's only 3 drivers that are on the lead lap, and that's John Ross, Christian Delgado, and Leroy Koblenz. 3 of the sim motion rides that were on this strategy, able to get it perfectly here. Is this going to put them at the front of the field again with the freshest tires? McKellar will have the fresher tires, but he's going to have to start at the back of the pack, so he'll be a few rows in behind our lead pack here. So pass a few drivers before he can try to battle up here for that 3rd, 2nd, 1st position. So we'll have to wait and see if this works out well for the 75 ride, but drivers like Victor Fluger, John McNeil, Ronald Luzzi, they're going to be taking the wave around here, looking to try to get that back, looking to try to put themselves, at least back onto the lead lap or gaining another lap here on the racetrack. Unfortunately, they won't be coming back down pit side, so they're going to have the older tires now in the track position that they were hoping to gain from that short pit. So different strategies here working out for drivers. Here you go. John Ross going to hang on to that race lead out of the pits. Delgado still there in second. Koblenz there in third. And we do see McKellar down pit side getting the 75 ride fixed up and hooked up here. A new set of tires on this car. And he'll get ready to rock and roll and go back to battle, which this could be their final pit stop of the day, is lap number 70. Up on the board, it'll get clicked off this time by the start finish line. So 70 laps in out of 110 laps, meaning that we have 40 laps of racing action left here in this one. So 40 laps to do here to finish off the evening. Is it gonna be John Ross able to pick up the dump here this evening in his return, or Christian Delgado gonna be able to get the win and lock his way into the championship 4 here at Phoenix Raceway in a couple weeks, as he's looking to try to get into that championship fight here this afternoon? The big race for Speedway Koblenz coming back here to the series and being able to maybe put this 42 ride up and into victory lane, or can McKellar gonna rebound here as he's back down pit road, gonna make another pit stop, making sure that this car is absolutely perfect and ready to go, maybe making sure that it's got that extra little bit of fuel in it, making sure it's completely topped up before he gets rolling back out onto the racetrack here, trying to make sure he uses everything perfectly, as we're going to get a quick word in from our sponsors over at Scary Strokes. So a quick word from our sponsors at Scary Strokes, and we'll be right back for our restart here on the evening.
Where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight minigolf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with a cool prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight minigolf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright.
Alrighty, as we go back to Green Flag Racing here in the Slingshot Sim Racing Series. John Ross quickly getting another good restart here and keeping that 44 and quickly making some quick work of those drivers deeper in the field. McKellar straight there to the back bumper down to the inside of Leroy Koblenz for position number 3. As the Volt Tech Romco Ball out New Vegas ride. Scored down in that 3rd position, trying to jump up here in battle for the race lead. We saw McKellar able to battle for the race lead a couple times here throughout this race. And a couple times he's gotten loose up in corner number 2. And the last time, shot down the racetrack, hard contact into the inside fence. Final for that last run, but here he is, right there into the thick of it, battling here towards the front of the field, looking to try to put himself into a position to maybe pick up the win here this afternoon and maybe lock his way into our championship 4, as he's all over the back bumper here of Christian Delgado. but it's John Ross at the front of the field continuing to lead the way. Ross out in front with Delgado McKellar there in second and third. Battling here door to door as Leroy Koblenz there in fourth. Number 5 on older tires last time down Fair Road was number 6. About 6 or 7 green flag laps on that number 80 ride. So his tires a little bit more used up than the drivers in front of him here as the 42. Either loose right there as he shot to the back bumper, and Luger even with the older tires in front of the work here. And the roll over at 42 Leroy Koblenz. 48 at John McNeil back here in that 6th position on the older tires as well, and has a little bit of contact, a little bit of damage there after getting up into the outside fence during that last caution flag. He's going to make that move around Leroy Koblenz for position number 5 here on the Speedway. We see Ronald Lucy there in position number 7 with Zach Lockett and Christopher DeWalt. Unfortunately, both 7 drivers out here on the racetrack battling for the win here this evening. Here in this 46 run, unfortunately, multiple laps down here for that number 46 run. So he's got to stuck quite a ways back behind the field as John Ross, Christian Delgado, William McKellar, Victor Kluger, Sean McNeil, and Leroy Koblenz left to duke it out here this afternoon for the big win here at Homestead Miami Speedway as John Ross out in front, showing the drivers how to get it done down across the line. Going to click up another lap this one. So another lap down for the 44 line of John Ross. See that 13 rolling the outside groove. Christian Delgado continuing to try to get hooked up and trying to figure out that outside lane here at Homestead, trying to find the ones that he needs to jump up and battle, compete, and try to beat his teammate here this evening. And it's not going to mean much for John Ross. Ross is not in our playoffs, unfortunately, after stepping aside early in the season here to take that 44 line from out onto the racetrack and up into the admin booth to make the calls to make everything fair and square out there on the racetrack. John Ross stepped down from being behind the driver's seat for the local car count here this afternoon. I'll allow him to jump back out onto the racetrack into battle with these guys and pick up a win, but with his teammate right there behind him in that sim motion number 13 ride. Christian Delgado rolling in that 2nd spot. A win for him could mean a playoff advancement here into our championship four and an opportunity for the 13 to duke it out in battle for our Slingshot Sim Racing Series championship here in 2024. The 75 right again, another one of those drivers. You see the red banner on the top of the windshield and on the back fin there. They are both battling not only for championship points, but also battling for this win, in which could be their ticket straight on through and not have to stress about the offense that Martinsville could have on a good run or a bad run. So none of the points are going to be tight, knowing that they're going to have an opportunity here this afternoon to jump forward and lean forward in the point standings. Could definitely play a major factor for this drivers at this Speedway. As right now, Christian Delgado and William McKellar both on the plus side of the red line here. They're both above the cutoff line for that championship race after the loss of Vegas last week. Sean Jensen's already punched his ticket into the show here, so he's already locked in. McKellar back in fourth, plus 16 to the cutoff line. Christian Delgado scored third here in the point standings, is 17 points above that cutoff line. Now Zach Lockett, Christopher DeWalt, they are in the 5th and 6th position. They were both equal on the racetrack, but both being scored in the 8th and 9th spot, and both off of the Speedway. That's going to be a big break for them as we do see the caution flag come back out once again. We'll take another look at it as it looks like John McNeil going to run into some more issues here in the 48 run. As McNeil looks like he's going to get loose again down and out at quarter number 4. McNeil up on the high side. That car gets loose, unfortunately goes around. He goes for a couple loop-de-loops here. Good piece of driving by the 46 to just keep that car up on the outside, slow it down, and make sure that he doesn't get a piece of that McNeil media number 48 as the caution flag going to come back out, I do believe, for the 3rd or 4th time here this afternoon for that 48 ride of John McNeil. So we will get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing, and now this is where the big question mark's going to come from. Do these drivers take their car down pit side? Do they take another pit stop here and put more tires onto their car, knowing that they're within 30 laps of racing action here? Do they stay out? Do they come down pit side? Looks like some of them are going to come down pit road. Some of them are going to stay out here. So John Ross is going to come down pit lane. Victor Fluger going to come down pit road. Same with Leroy Koblenz. So it looks like 3 of our lead lap contenders all going to make their way down pit side. Willie McKellar will now be our race leader as he will lead the way. Christian Delgado there behind him, and John McNeil there in position number 3 for this restart, as they'll get stacked up, racked up, and are ready to go back to battle here in just a few more moments. These drivers ready to duke it out. They are ready to go to battle and finish this race off to see who can put themselves into victory lane here this evening. We're going to get a quick look in here at some of these drivers and their cockpits.
In the digital world he shines bright, full send all day and all night, conquering realms with all his might. Peacemaker's here to make it right. Through the controllers battle's begun, every click, every move he's won, streaming wisdom under the sun. Victory's anthem just has begun. Peacemaker gaming all day, send it full dose sway. In the virtual lands we play, leading the charge in our own way. Pixels and wires, his domain, glory found in every campaign, shelter from reality strain. With Peacemaker there's no pain. Battles fought in every zone, from his cherries never alone. Full send on the audio tone, Peacemaker's name is known. Eyes on screens, dreams he weave, in his world you can't believe. Through the levels never leave, the magic of gaming we perceive. Peacemaker, gaming all day, send it full dose sway. In the virtual lands we play, leading the charge in our own way. Pixels and wires his domain, glory found in every campaign, shelter from reality strain. With Peacemaker there's no pain. Battles fought in every zone, from his cherries never alone. Full send on the audio tone, Peacemaker's name is known. Eyes on screens, dreams he weave, in his world you can't believe. Through the levels never leave, the magic of gaming we perceive. Fought in every zone, from his cherries never alone. Full send on the audio tone, Peacemaker's name is known.
Alrighty, as we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing here from Homestead, Miami Speedway. These drivers ready to go back to battle as down through the Geico restart zone. A great launch and a great jump there for the 75 of Willie McKellar. exactly what McKellar was looking for there in that restart as he is quickly jumped out in front, looking to clear the 48 and the 13 as the 48 washes up the racetrack here over the nose of that 13 right now, bouncing off the outside fence ever so slightly. Here comes Victor Pfluger. Pfluger down low, the 80 wide, looking to try to go 3 wide and into position number 2. He will make that move around Christian Delgado. Delgado slides back down to that 3rd spot, but gets a great run underneath that BPR machine. As Pfluger looking to try to hang on to that 2nd spot. You're working inside lane as Delgado works down low. Big deal there on his back bumper is John Ross, one of those drivers that we saw come down pit road here. And Victor Pfluger, 2 of those drivers that make that next pit stop, come down pit lane, put some fresh tires, some fuel into their rides, and now looking to try to work their way to the front of the field. And onto it is the 48 line, trying to keep that car pointing the right direction, getting very, very loose there again. And the corner number 4 as that car was up into the inside wall there through 3 and 4, and almost went back around. Luckily enough, he was able to hang on to it, keep it pointed in the right direction. The battle's still on. Here for position number 2 on the Speedway is now Christian Delgado and John Ross. More here for position number 2. Delgado going to get that run down the straightaway as John Ross will follow in line. Back down to the inside here on the back bumper of that 3rd position. In front, it's Willie McKellar. McKellar, who continues to lead the way here in this one. McKellar out in front, down across the line. He will flip up another lap here from Homestead Miami Speedway. We've had 21 more laps of racing action here this afternoon. 21 more laps that we can have for these drivers. As we see John Ross again down low, trying to work himself around this 13 right now with some good fuel in that 44 ride, some good tires still on it as well. And he's going to use them to put himself back in front of his teammate in that 13. Delgado though going with a big head of speed. He's going to either take a look down low or he's going to give a bit of a shove to the back bumper of his teammate, trying to drop the 44. John Ross a little closer here to our race leader, Willie McKellar. As McKellar hanging on to that race lead, looking to continue to keep drivers back there at bay with only 20 more laps of racing action here in this one. We'll jump into our evening's final piece of Maker Gaming. Crank it up. So crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite driver. as John Ross continuing to lead the way here in this one. Ross out in front, down and across the line. We'll see 10 more laps left to go here this afternoon. 100 laps down, 100 laps off the board, and 10 laps left to go here in this one. As drivers battling, duking it out here for that second spot. It's all John Ross here at the front of the field as he continues to open up his lead, continues to pull away from the rest of the field. As John Ross now out in front by about 3 seconds between him and Victor Pfluger. Pfluger now into position number 2 as Pfluger there in that second spot. Christian Delgado in position number 3. William McKellar there in 4th with Leroy Koblenz back in 5th. Then we see John McNeil in that 6th position. Ronald Luzzi there in position number 7. Zach Lockett and Christopher DeWald both off the Speedway back in the 8th and 9th spot. As out in front, it is this 44 ride of John Ross who leads the way, looking to try to pick up a big win here this afternoon. As it's John Ross who's kind of came back into the series here, jumping in here for what is one of his few races here on the season after jumping out of the race car and jumping into the admin booth and keeping all these drivers under control and everything else. Now we see John Ross jumping in here, having some fun on the evening and jumping back out onto the racetrack, and he's picking right up where he left off. It's not like he even missed a beat here as the 44 machine of John Ross looking to pick up the win this afternoon as he's out in front and continuing to pull away from the rest of the field. Now 3.3 seconds separate himself and our second place driver Victor Pfluger. Pfluger now with about half a second between himself and Christian Delgado. Delgado's got about 2 seconds between himself and the 75 of William McKellar. Leroy Koblenz back there in that 5th position, and John McNeil bringing up the rear of the field, running into some issues here again for the 48 ride as McNeil looks like he's going to go around hard contact into the inside fence here for the 48 ride. Let's take a look at it as he gets loose out of corner 4, swashes down the racetrack. Unfortunately, pile drives that inside fence, heavy left front damage here for that McNeil media number 48, not the run he was hoping for here this afternoon. Unfortunately, with that heavy damage, finds himself back in that 6th position and quite a ways away from our race leader here. Is out in front, John Ross just on cruise control, looking to try to pick up the checkered flag here this afternoon. As John Ross down through 3 and out of corner number 4, he'll head down and across the start finish line, and he will get that high five here from our flag man. 5 more laps left to go here for the Sim Motion number 44 as John Ross looking to get the win here from Homestead Miami Speedway, looking to play spoiler here to all of our playoff drivers as Christian Delgado, William McKellar, John McNeil, Zach Lockett, Christopher DeWald, all were looking for the win here this afternoon, knowing that that would propel them into the championship. A win would move them forward and into our playoffs here and into that championship 4 in a couple weeks time from Phoenix Raceway. Now with John Ross out in front, Victor Pfluger there in second. 2 drivers that are not in our playoffs, both looking to pick up wins here, both looking to try to put themselves into that winner circle and make it so that those drivers that are back there that are in this playoff battle could still potentially have an upside down day at Martinsville and could potentially lose out. Now I think with the run that Christian Delgado and William McKellar are having, and the gap that they've had already over John McNeil, it may be enough for them to kind of use it to where they may have a big enough point lead where all they got to do is just show up and gain their entry points and showing up to the race at Martinsville to lock their way into that championship. But the battle for that 3rd spot could be up in the air with the number, the number, double check here, the number, can't remember Greg O'Berry's the 71 rider. Greg O'Berry not being here this afternoon. He did have a 28-point lead advantage, but now that's kind of dissipated as he was above that cut line, as we do see John McNeil running into some more issues here already with that damage on the 48 ride. Looks like out of corner number 4 again. Looks like he's going to get into the apron. A lot of speed. That car is going to go around again here. So a tough race, a tough break there again for Mr. John McNeil as he'll take that car right down pit side is out in front. John Ross down through 3 and out at corner number 4. Here in this one is the broadcast promoter coming in with that follow here on the broadcast, coming in to show the love over there on Twitch. Welcome to the Peacemaker family. Welcome to the Peacemaker crew as we see the white flag fly here the final time for John Ross this afternoon from the beautiful Homestead Miami Speedway. Ross down the back straightaway for the final time here this evening. He's got this 44 sim motion ride on cruise control out to 4.5 second lead advantage between himself and Victor Pfluger. So Ross, nice and easy down through 3 and out of corner 4 for the final time here this afternoon. And down across the line, John Ross will pick up the checkered flag here from Homestead Miami Speedway in our third to last race of the Slingshot Sim Racing Series here this year. John Ross coming from the bench and out onto the racetrack, and he picks right up where he left off, and that's putting the Sim Motion 44 ride up and into victory lane. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get some congratulations here for that 44 as John Ross picking up the win and pulling this 44 into the winner's circle here this afternoon. Pfluger back there in second, so Victor Pfluger coming home in position number 2, and Christian Delgado coming home in third. But it's John Ross's day here in the Slingshot Sim Racing Series as he's gonna burn down the house and he's gonna celebrate a big win here in Homestead Miami Speedway fashion as he's gonna burn down the house, and we'll get ready to see him jump out of that race car and get ready for his post-race interview after a heck of a run and a heck of a drive. We'll get him up here and in to the broadcast booth. What a run and what a drive there for that number 44. He's going to celebrate here with his teammate as the Sim Motion number 13 ride of Christian Delgado, our third place finisher, going to join him here on the front straightaway. They're going to go nose to nose here, and they're going to burn down the house together after a great run and a great finish here between the two of them, man. That was a heck of a run, a heck of a battle right there. And you can see both drivers pretty pumped, pretty ecstatic about picking up their wins here this afternoon. As we'll get ready to pull our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth here. We'll have to wait and see if we can get Mr. John Ross right up here. Let's pull John up into the booth right now. Hey, John, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Take a copy.
I've got you, sir.
John, man, what a run, what a race, man. You come from the bench and back into the playing field, and you pick right up where you left off as you pull this 44 Sim Motion ride up into victory lane, man. Now, I know you've taken a few, a lot of weeks off being the admin of the series and not one of the drivers, but how did it feel to be able to jump back in here, run some laps, have some fun again, and put yourself right back up here into victory lane?
Yeah, I think it's I think I'm always a driver and a racer at heart, and I think once it gets in you, you always want to be out there. And we had a really light field this week, and we wanted the broadcast to at least have a little bit of action, have close to as 10 cars as we could. And so Ron and I decided to come in and run, and we had a little bit of conversation on how we were going to run it. And everybody was kind of in agreement. We were like, let's just run it and just see what happens. Homestead's always tough. It's always a little slippery. You've got to watch some tire wear. So I think we had a lot of that, right? We had some really good long green flag runs, and then we had some quick little runs there at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple good green flag runs. We saw you leading a lot of laps here this evening. We saw your teammate right there with you on the front straightaway, Christian Delgado, hanging with you for a lot of those. And we saw that 75 of McKellar right there as well. We saw him a couple times try to take that race lead back away from you and getting loose there through corner number 2 once he ran into issues, and he could never really rebound from that and had to settle in for a 5th place run. But it was all the Sim Motion cars here this afternoon, especially during the green flag pit stops where drivers were coming down pit side and everything else. And then, we see you, the 13 of Delgado, and that 42 of Koblenz still on the lead lap, and everyone else down a lap kind of really gave you guys that extra edge here late in this race.
Yeah, I think we had that plan. So we had that first initial caution. I think it was about 27, or we went back green, with 27, 28 laps into the race. So we knew we were just going to one stop it. And I thought that there were going to be some people that were going to two stop. So we were really easy on the tires. And, you know, McKellar was fast early on, but, you know, we had a different game plan. I think he was wanting to two stop it and we were just going to one stop it. So, you know, so that was kind of our game plan going into it. And luckily, I think we got a caution there. So we didn't have to make any green flag pit stops. And Christian had a pretty quick car tonight. And I just told him, you know, once we had that last caution, I went in and got that last set of tires. I said, I'm just going to turn it loose and whatever happens, happens.
Absolutely. Well, that was definitely a good call as you quickly work your way back up through the field, jump back out in front, and then you pulled away from the rest of the field, even with Victor Pfluger doing the same strategy, coming down pit side, getting that final set of tires onto his car. He had a little bit more of a tougher time trying to work himself around McKellar, McNeil, Kolblitz, and Christian Delgado here. So by the time he finally cleared that 13 and put himself into that second spot, you were already a couple seconds ahead of him, and he just continued to pull away from that 80 ride and picking up a big win by almost 5 seconds here this afternoon.
Yeah, it was a good run, and I knew that Victor, you know, was on the same strategy, the same tire strategy. So, you know, when we went back green, you know, I tried to get in front of him as quickly as I could. And Chris and I had a really bad start on the outside there, and so I tried to get by him. And once I had that that air, you know, and the track started to cool down. Once the track cooled down a little bit, it wasn't as slippery through the apex of the turn. You could really start to bear down on the throttle, and you know, so I wasn't really worried about tire wear at that point. I was just worried about hitting my marks and turning some quick lap times.
Absolutely. Well, you definitely hit your marks. You definitely ran some quick lap times. You run away with this one, and you pulled that 44 ride up into the Homestead Miami Speedway victory lane. John, who would you like to thank for such a great run and great drive here this afternoon?
Yes, as always, we want to thank you as a broadcaster. Not only a broadcaster this league, you do it in a ton of other leagues, and I know you're one of the most popular guys on this service to broadcast. So first of all, as we're narrowing down on the end of this thing, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to you. You know, a thank you to the other people that have handled the series for us. Christian, as you know, is HVTV. He was handling our Tuesday nights broadcast. I want to thank him and just all of our drivers and racers for coming out. We've had our ups and downs, but I tell you, I think we really built a good quality family here, and I'm happy to call some of these guys friends of mine. And and then last but not least, all of my SimMotion teammates. And SimMotion themselves. If you need anything for a sim rig, go to ussimmotion.com, throw in code 802, and it'll get you 5% off anything.
Beauty. Well, John, a great run, a great job here this afternoon, man. A lot of fun out there on the Speedway. We can't wait to see you guys go back to battle, you know, elbows up racing next week as we head to Martinsville, and then our championship 4-2 duke it out there at Phoenix. But Martinsville, you know, is always a big question mark. We've seen some pretty fun races there, but we've seen some pretty bad races with a lot of caution flags, a lot of issues there. So, you know, for yourself being the admin, one of the guys that runs the show, you know, how do you keep these drivers under control and see some green flag laps there at Martinsville as well?
Gosh, it's tough because, you know, I've been watching, of course, officials are running Martinsville this week in the A class. So I've watched quite a few of them, NISs, and then some of the officials, and they are caution fest. And anytime you have a short track, especially Martinsville, it tends to have a lot of wrecks. So I think the message is to the guys is, you know, it's going to be a long race. You know, let's spread out a little bit, give each other a little bit of patience, a little bit of time, and try to be careful. But it's a short track, so, you know, like you said, the elbows are going to be out. They're going to be bumping each other and racing each other hard. And I can tell you this, sometimes it's great to be an admin because I believe I'll be back in the booth watching that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely one of the ones that you'd probably want to miss here out there on the racetrack, but glad to see you didn't miss this one as you put yourself up into victory lane. Congratulations again on the great run. Congratulations on the great drive, and hopefully we'll see you back out here maybe once or twice here to finish off this season and see you guys all battling for, you know, for some good racing, some good action here to close out the series.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, John. Enjoy the rest of your evening and don't party too hard down there in Victory Lane.
Not possible.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, John Ross, picking up the win here this afternoon, putting himself up and into victory lane as we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher, Victor Pfluger. We'll pull Pfluger up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Victor, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you. How you doing tonight?
Not too bad, Victor, man. A pretty solid run and pretty interesting race out there on the Speedway. Lots of room, lots of areas that you can make up ground or lose ground out there on the Speedway, man. Take us back through this one, man. A lot of great battling, a lot of door-to-door, and some late race pitch strategy. Able to put those fresh tires underneath that 80 ride, and you drive yourself up here for a solid second-place run here in the Slingshot Sim Racing Series.
Yeah, tonight was definitely not what I expected. I really kind of expected us to, have that one yellow and then kind of go green from there, but it's not what happened. And it seemed like every time I'd put a strategy together to kind of make something out of it, it'd turn around, we'd end up under yellow or what have you. But it worked out right there at the very end. I picked the wrong steer gear. I put a slower gear in it for early in the race, trying to help control the really bad wheel spin when the track was warmer, and then as soon as it cooled down, the car quit turning. So, overall, really great run tonight. Got to give a big shout out to my Wayne Gosling Racing buddies, Outlaw Wraps, Team Watson Setups, the guys that make this car go. And it's just a good night to come home second. I'll take it.
Absolutely a great night, a great drive there for that 80 ride, Victor. Congratulations on that great run here, man, as you're able to pull it up onto the podium. Another solid run, another solid performance for you with only a couple races left here in the season. Obviously not being a part of the playoffs, but trying to chase some trophies, trying to get some checkered flags here. How do you feel going into these next two races, knowing that they're kind of the short tracks with Martinsville, the paperclip, and then Phoenix for our championship race? Are you going to jump in here, play spoiler, and maybe take some wins away from our playoff contenders here to finish off the season?
That's absolutely the plan. I'm just here to try to pick up trophies and have a good time, and I'm really looking forward to Martinsville and Phoenix. Those two are a couple of my favorites, but we're sure looking at some chaotic racing coming up too. So it'll be a lot of fun to see how it all plays out, especially with this crowd. I mean, really good drivers. Really clean guys, but you still have mistakes happen, and it's a short track where it gets real easy to just make that little miss and cause all kinds of chaos. So I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely chaos around every corner there, especially at Martinsville. And last chance at Phoenix to maybe get some payback or to level out the scorecard against other drivers there at Phoenix as well and Martinsville. So could be some payback for some drivers here throughout the series after a lot of races, a lot of elbows up battles out there throughout this season. And it's coming to a close in a quick hurry. But we're glad to have you jump in here, have some fun with us, and have another good run here in that 80 ride. Victor, congrats on the second place run here this afternoon. We can't wait to see you back out there next Wednesday for our penultimate race with Martinsville Speedway.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the awesome broadcast, and we'll see you next week.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your night. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Victor Pfluger as Pfluger coming home. They're in position number 2. A great run and a great drive there from the 80 ride as we'll pull in our third place finisher now, the number 13 of Christian Delgado. Delgado coming home there in that third spot. We'll pull him up into the broadcast booth. Hey, Christian, it's Aaron up here at the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Aaron.
Christian, brother, a pretty good run, a solid day for you here at the Speedway, man. Take us back through this one. It's a lot of open track, a lot of room to make some moves, but we saw you guys still battling 2-3 wide out there on the Speedway, and the pitch strategies really came into play here late in this race, man. Take us back through it, and how do you feel after this third place run and your championship hopes after Homestead Miami Speedway?
Yeah, I came into Homestead pretty confident, and us to come up here and run up front. Kind of, fortunately, with the driver count, John and Russ kind of threw a wrench into things because I know John is always going to be up there running up front, regardless where we go. But yeah, I felt like I had a decent car. I think John was a little bit quicker on pace than really everybody on the track. But we got that really weird caution at the end there, and we'd only ran like 11 laps on tires. I knew that McNeil, who had spun out, he used his last set, so he wasn't going to get any better probably with that car. So I decided to make a little bit of a different strategy call. I knew McKellar had used his last set because he went a lap down through the green flag pit stop cycle and everything else. Unlucky for him, but I figured that there was a good chance that McNeil would kind of spin that car out again. He did, just didn't bring out a caution, unfortunately. So we had a set just sitting in the pit, just waiting on us to take him, and unfortunately, I guess the racing gods just did not want us to get that another caution. So John and Victor, with that strategy call to come down, take those 4 fresh Goodyear tires, they just pulled away from us. I tried to hold off Victor as long as I could, but with the tires, at Homestead where the tire were so egregious, just even 11 laps is just a lot for these things. But lucky we could hold on to this P3. It looks like our teammate Leroy got a P4 here, so I think we're the highest. Yeah, we are the highest finishing driver that are left in the playoffs, so it's nice to see.
Absolutely, still being that highest finishing playoff driver here this afternoon, and coming in already in that 3rd spot here in the playoff standings after Vegas. Only have that 17-point gap over Zach Lockett and Christopher DeWald and John McNeil. Obviously, McNeil coming home there in 6th, and Zach and Christopher coming back there in 8th and 9th. Definitely opened up that door for you to gain some more points. And with Greg O'Berry not here, I mean, you're probably going to be jumping up into that 2nd spot and almost in a position where you're locked in. All you got to do is just show up to Martinsville and earn your show up points to be able to lock yourself into that championship 4 here at Phoenix.
Yeah, hopefully that's what happens. I wish we had some more driver count to spice it up a little bit, but unfortunately, we know at the end of the season too, it's kind of a thing with every league that when someone isn't racing for a championship, it's really easy just to step away and try something new or something. So I wish we had some more drivers to race with here to spice up the points. So if someone does not show up or gets wrecked out early, it really does stack everything else up. But going into Martinsville, yeah, I think we should be pretty much locked into Phoenix. So that's good, knowing how chaotic Martinsville can be sometimes. It's either really good racing or it's just a complete wreck fest. So it's nice at least going in there knowing that I will have a pretty good points cushion at the very least that I can play with there. But yeah, Martinsville, one of my not one of my most favorite tracks, but we're gonna have to go in there and just kind of get that race under our belt. But Phoenix, one of my favorite tracks, one of my better short tracks. I qualified I think P2 there in the spring, and unfortunately just caused the first caution there at Phoenix last spring, so hopefully we can clean that up a little bit and hopefully go down and contend for a championship there in Phoenix.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we can't wait to see how it all plays out here over our final 2 races of the season. But Christian, a great run and a great drive for you here this afternoon from Homestead Miami Speedways. You come home in that 3rd and final podium position. Who would you like to thank here again for another great run and great drive here at Homestead?
Yeah, first of all, I have to give a huge shout out to the admins, John Ross, Ron Losey, and Russ. I know Russ wasn't here to do, he had some other stuff going on that he couldn't be here, but he's still done a hell of a lot to, make the wheels go around here in this league and making sure everything gets done here towards the end of the season here. But I also have to give a huge shout out to my sponsors. We have SimMotion on the car today. Go to USSimMotion.com and use code 802 for 5% off your order. SimMotion, nice group of guys there, and love to have them on the car. But also have to shout out Track Racer. High Velocity TV is our broadcasting network. So besides you, who do a great job, if you guys are looking for any broadcasting needs, make sure they email us over at hvtvbroadcasting@aol.com. Got to give a huge shout out to Steel Car Detailing. Got to give a huge shout out to the Bean team. Thank you, Jeff, Sully, Poppy, Jackson, Peter, everybody over there for what they do. Levi. Also have to give a huge shout out to Wildman Racing. Before this kind of became Sim Motion Racing, we still have that great group of guys over there with Leroy and John and all those guys over there, Kenny Rio, all those guys. But lastly, gotta give a huge shout out to the people over at twitch.tv/ChristianBoss13. Please go over there and drop me a follow. We do a lot over there. Kind of like what you do, Aaron, and whether it's broadcasting or playing COD or doing everything else over there. So we'd really appreciate the support over there. We're slowly trying to grow that out as much as we can. But lastly, got to give a huge shout out to you, Aaron, for putting on the broadcast. As a broadcast myself, I really do appreciate how much time and energy you put into this and all the work that comes into it. But definitely couldn't do without you, and definitely appreciate you putting on this Cup Series for this season.
Absolutely, brother. It's always my pleasure to be up here in the broadcast booth, and can't wait to make the final couple calls here, the final couple races of the season, and hopefully we'll see you back up here for a couple more trips into the broadcast booth, and maybe a couple weeks from now, seeing you up here picking up that championship to finish off the inaugural season here of the Slingshot Sim Racing Cup Series.
Yeah, can't wait. And let's say we got to get Martinsville under our belt. We not locked in quite yet, but hopefully we can get through Martinsville, and hopefully we can make it to Phoenix.
Absolutely, brother. We look forward to seeing how it all plays out for you and hoping to see you there.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your evening.
You too, Aaron.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Christian Delgado. Delgado coming home there in that third spot. A great run and a great drive there for the 13 machine, almost locking himself in to a guaranteed spot into our championship four. As we're going to get ready for our Butt Crack Motorsports random number giveaway here. So we're going to bring this bad boy up and onto the screen. So 9 drivers starting here this afternoon. 9 drivers putting in their ticket, their opportunity here to earn some extra iRacing credits here from Butt Crack Motorsports. So what we're going to do is we're going to click this random number generator a bunch of times, kind of get things reset, refreshed, and then once we're done, we'll stop. We'll let you know, and then we'll do it one more time, and that number will be the corresponding finishing position for the winner of the Butt Crack Motorsports random number giveaway. So we're going to just stop it like right there. We're going to stop it there. So the next click will be our Butt Crack Motorsports giveaway winner here this afternoon, and it's number 2, Victor Fluger. Picking up the win here in this one. Number 2 is that winner. Let's make sure you guys can see that nice and perfectly. There is number 2 getting it done here in this one. So Victor Fluger, maybe not a race win, but a decent little extra bit of iRacing credits going towards him. Brought to you by Butt Crack Motorsports. Absolute shout out there to Butt Crack Motorsports again over there on Facebook. Make sure you guys go check them out and drop them a follow over there on Facebook at Butt Crack Motorsports. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, unfortunately that is going to do it for us here this afternoon. I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love here throughout the evening. A lot of great battling, a lot of great battles out there on the racetrack, back and forth, door to door, 3-wide racing here from Homestead Miami Speedway. And unfortunately that will do it for us here on the night. I will see you guys back here probably tomorrow for a little something different. I don't know what we're going to get into, but we'll get into something there for Halloween and something cool, something crazy, something fun to do. And I can't wait to see you guys back up here in the broadcast booth. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen.
Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight minigolf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome
shines bright. Full send all day and all night, conquering realms with all his might. Peacemaker's here to make it right. Through the controllers, battles begun. Every click, every move, he's won. Streaming wisdom under the sun. Victory's anthem just has begun. Peacemaker gaming all day. Send it full, don't sway. In the virtual lands we play, leading the charge in our own way. Pixels and wires, his domain. Glory found in every campaign. Shelter from reality strain. With Peacemaker there's no pain. Battles fought in every zone. From his cherries never alone. Full send on the audio tone. Peacemaker's name is known. Eyes on screens, dreams he weave. In his world you can't believe. Through the levels never leave. The magic of gaming we perceive. Peacemaker, gaming all day. Send it full, don't sway. In the virtual lands we play, leading the charge in our own way. Pixels and wires is domain. Glory found in every campaign. Shelter from reality strain. With Peacemaker there's no pain. Battles fought in every zone. From his chair he's never alone. Full send on the audio tone. Peacemaker's name is known. Eyes on screens, dreams he weaves. In his world you can believe. Through the levels never leave. The magic of gaming we perceive. Fought in every zone. From his chair he's never alone. Full send on the audio tone. Peacemaker's name is known.